What if your job involved wearing shiny white armor, blasting rebel scum, and occasionally missing every shot? Sounds like a dream for a Star Wars fan, right? But here's the real question. How much does the Empire actually pay its stormtroopers, and is it worth the constant risk of being taken out by a farm boy with a laser sword? Let's break it down. But here's the thing. Being a stormtrooper isn't just about wearing cool armor and blasting rebel scum. It's a high-stakes job with a lot of risks, and a paycheck that might surprise you. So, how much does the Empire actually pay its soldiers? Is it enough to live on in a galaxy full of danger and drama? And what's it really like to spend your days taking orders from Darth Vader? Stick around, because we're breaking it all down, from salaries and bonuses to the daily grind of life in the Imperial Army. First, let's talk about what it means to be a stormtrooper. In the real world, a soldier's job involves training, discipline, and following orders to protect their country. They typically need to complete basic training and meet physical and mental fitness standards. But in the Star Wars universe, being a stormtrooper is a whole different ballgame. You're not just a soldier, you're the face of the Galactic Empire. Your day-to-day involves everything from patrolling Imperial bases to engaging in full-scale battles against the Rebel Alliance. Oh, and don't forget the occasional awkward moment when you're ordered to do something questionable, like firing on unarmed civilians or missing every shot at the heroes. So, what does a typical day look like for a stormtrooper? Your morning starts with a uniform check because, of course, the Empire cares more about how shiny your armor is than how accurate your aim is. Once you're suited up, you're assigned to your post, whether that's guarding a Star Destroyer, patrolling a desert planet like Tatooine, or standing perfectly still in a hallway while Darth Vader walks by. By midday, you might be sent on a mission to track down rebel spies or secure a key location. And let's not forget the occasional all-out battle, where you're expected to charge into the fray, blaster in hand, even though you know your aim is questionable. For example, imagine you're stationed on the Death Star when a group of rebels shows up to rescue Princess Leia. What did you do? Do you follow orders and try to stop them, or do you quietly step aside and let the farm boy with the laser sword do his thing? These are the kinds of dilemmas you'd face every day as a stormtrooper. Speaking of dilemmas, let's talk about a nightmare scenario. What if you're assigned to guard a critical Imperial facility and the rebels launch a full-scale attack? As a stormtrooper, it's your job to hold the line even when you're outgunned and outnumbered. You'd need to coordinate with your squad, follow orders from your commanding officer, and try not to get blown up by an X-Wing. And let's not forget the pressure of knowing that if you fail, the Empire might just blame you for the entire operation going sideways. It's a high-stakes job, and the paycheck better reflect that. So, how does this compare to real-world military jobs? In the US military, an entry-level soldier earns around $20,000 to $30,000 a year, with opportunities for raises and the bonuses based on rank and experience. But as a stormtrooper, you're not just a soldier, you're part of the most feared fighting force in the galaxy. That's a whole new level of responsibility. And let's not forget about bonuses. In the real world, soldiers often earn extra pay for hazardous duty or specialized skills. In the Empire, you might get a bonus for surviving a particularly dangerous mission or for being part of an elite unit like the Death Troopers. These bonuses could range from 1,000 to 5,000 credits a year, depending on your performance. But let's be real. No bonus is going to make up for the constant risk of being taken out by a rebel with a lucky shot. So how much would the Empire pay you for this high-risk, high-stakes role? Are you ready? A stormtrooper in the Galactic Empire would likely earn around 15,000 to 25,000 credits a year. That's right, enough to afford a modest lifestyle on a mid-rim planet, but probably not enough to buy your own TIE fighter. Of course, if you're part of an elite unit or rise through the ranks, you could earn more. But for the average stormtrooper, the pay isn't exactly galactic level. But here's the real question. Is that enough to live on? If you're stationed on a backwater planet like Tatooine, 15,000 to 25,000 credits a year would be enough to cover basic expenses like food, housing, and the occasional drink at the Mos Eisley Cantina. But if you're posted on a more expensive world like Coruscant, you might struggle to make ends meet, especially when you factor in the cost of maintaining your armor and blaster. So, is it a livable wage? Barely. But hey, at least you get free room and board on a Star Destroyer. As long as you don't mind sharing a bunk with 20 other stormtroopers. Of course, the perks might just make up for it. Imagine having access to the Empire's cutting-edge technology, traveling to exotic planets, and being part of the most powerful military force in the galaxy. Plus, let's not forget the bragging rights. How many people can say they've served under Darth Vader? But there are challenges too. You'd be dealing with constant danger, the pressure to follow orders without question, and the occasional existential crisis when you realize you're fighting for a regime that blows up planets. And let's not forget the risk of being taken out by a farm boy with a laser sword. So, would you take the job as a stormtrooper, or would you demand a raise to deal with the constant danger and questionable aim? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next breakdown. What other Star Wars jobs should we analyze next? Let me know.